he was definitely the intended target. They were just a day late.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching. By law, I have to tell you that this is for entertainment purposes only. All videos are property of Psychic Liz Cross, LLC. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It's Mystery Reality, and if you like what I do, you can go to co-fi.com/reality forecast and see the post that I make there. Maybe just provide something nice to me, Liz. This is questions about Lindsey Graham, who passed away over the weekend. Shockingly, was in perfect health, went to a weapons factory in Ukraine that was subsequently bombed by Russia the next day. So Twitter was all abuzz over the weekend about Russia had assassinated Lindsey Graham, and then he went home, and then Iran poisoned him, or he had an aortic dissection. So I wondered if we could bring in the energy of former Senator Lindsey Graham and have him clear up the discrepancy surrounding his untimely passing.
He is here. He is here. He is ready to talk.
And so let's talk to him about his passing. Talk us through that day. What happened? What did you notice afoot?
What did you notice afoot? He had not felt well for a couple of weeks. He's telling me, you didn't feel well. No, he was feeling a little dizzy, a little out of breath. And how long? At least 2 weeks. But he kept ignoring it, passing it off as maybe, something minor. Did you think that you should go to the, he goes, yeah, I was planning to go to the doctor or the hospital. Oh, the doctor first, he says, in a couple of days. I didn't think it was that serious. But on the day of his passing, what happened on the day? He felt really ill. He felt cold, he felt clammy, and what else? He felt nauseated. He felt extremely tired. He felt as if he was like struggling to breathe. And I'm saying, well, at that point, earlier on in the day, why did you not dial 911? He goes, I didn't think it was necessary. But were you always like this? Yes, he was always like this. He's one of those people that doesn't like to go to doctors. He doesn't like to have checkups. He doesn't like needle. He's not one of those, uh, he doesn't stay on top of his health really. He doesn't go for regular checkups. He really doesn't like blood tests. And unfortunately, it came back on him.
Did he have a cardiologist that he was seeing, or had he had issues with his heart before?
No,
Was he bombed by Russians, and did he have any leaks about being at that Russian or that drone factory? Did that leak out to Russia somehow? Because the next day that was leveled by Russia, allegedly.
ooh. Well, he was definitely the intended target. They were just a day late. And that's very typical of diplomatic and official visits to war zones, to areas. You say that you're going to go one day and you actually don't go that day, you go a different day. That was all by design. He was the intended target.
And so was he the intended target by Russian agents or Russian proxy agents through another country?
No, by the Russian military, by the like the equivalent of the Russian Secret Service, spies.
So what happened when you got home? You just decided not to call 911? I know this is a pre-planned exit, but leaving the Senate in such a precarious one vote kind of problem, how do you feel about that now from the other side?
He really doesn't care. He's like, yeah, that's for Earth plane dwellers, right? He didn't feel well on the flight home. He didn't feel well in Ukraine. So he's like, yeah, he's done with it. It's over. He is up there with his relatives. He's not even looking back at the Earth plane,
Who's
thinking
he
anything.
who's he up there with? Well, we came to talk to us.
Who were you up there with? There's definitely a grandmother and some sort of uncle that he knows. Could be a great uncle. I feel his, like that generation, the grandparent generation, was very influential on him when he was younger. Family was very influential. He really loved his family.
Are there people that don't love their family? We hear that a lot.
Yes, there are people that don't love their family on the earth plane. Yes.
I wanted to ask him about some of the controversies of things that he said. In December 2015, he called Trump a race baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. And in May 2016, you said nominating him would destroy the party and the party would deserve it. And now you were supporting him. So what changed, or what changed about your position on him?
What changed about your position on it? He wanted to be reelected. If you wanted to be reelected, you had to like Trump. You had to show that you were behind Trump 100% of the way. He hates Trump. He's telling me, I can't stand the man.
Why do you hate Trump? And why did you turncoat, pretend to be his golf partner, his friend?
Why do you, for all those things that he just said? He's a racist, he's a this, he's a that. Really? Yes. He doesn't like Trump at all. So why did you pretend to be his friend? Because that's what you had to do to stay ahead. You don't want the Trumpster because he will shout about it on the microphone to the entire country. And next thing you know, your career is over. And he wasn't going to allow that to happen psychologically. No, he played the game, but
So
he
you
didn't
were
like Trump.
Didn't like the game. You, speaking of the game, you were in office for 23 years. Is there any compromise or hidden dossier on illicit affairs that you have had and that were held over your head to get you to vote a certain way?
Ooh. Yes. Yes, there
And
were.
who held those? What agency or government held those? And how often did they push you to vote their way?
It was private detectives that would follow him around and had less than desirable photographs of him in compromising positions with males, is what he's saying to me, which, I mean, he didn't see it as any big deal, and I don't think many people would see it as a big deal, but he says on the Republican ticket, it's a big deal, or it certainly was back then.
And what agency is that?
It wasn't agency. It wasn't any particular agency. It was more for lobbyists.
And what lobbyist actions or governments are they supporting?
Arms deals, cigarette companies, tobacco companies, the vaping industry, the NRA, loads of them. They do this all the time to all of the Republicans and the Democrats. It depends who they need to pass things through. They follow them all the time. They take photographs and then they know how to blackmail.
And so, how many times were then you pushed to do those lobbying activities that might have compromised what you would normally do if you were acting as an agent of the people?
A few times, quite a few times. I'm going to ask him a question. Do you think that your views were and your lifestyle was more democratic? And he said, yes, I knew that. I could feel that in the energy. And so you believe that a lot of the stuff that you were, so is a lot of the stuff that you were for? I mean, was that just a lie sometimes? Not always. Were you more of a, he was definitely more of a moderate than, hard right Republican, but his constituents expected him to be, hard right. He
Well,
did whatever was necessary to keep a job.
he followed Strom Thurmond, and Strom Thurmond was a senator for 1,000 years. So, I guess he just wanted to be a senator for another 1,000 years. Um, so, who actually gatekeeps what senators are shown about the UAP phenomenon or the UFO phenomenon? is involved and who gatekeeps that.
The CIA, the military, a lot of different agencies.
And what knowledge does he have? Because he's not bound by any NDAs at this point. I don't think that they carry over into
No,
the spirit world. Can he tell us
no.
about the capabilities that we have that are not widely known?
He thought that was funny too. I thought that was hilarious. NDAs in the spirit world. What capabilities? Oh, there's a lot of capabilities. And we have drone technology that has picked them up so much, but they're too fast. That we can't, do not have the technology that the UAPs have. Like we are very far behind. Everybody knows that they exist. Nobody likes to talk about it. Nobody wants to open up those can of worms, and neither did he.
Well, I'm not getting the answer I'm looking for, so I'm going to ask it a different way. Are there,
He is a politician.
well, not anymore. I mean, you're an orb, a ping pong ball shaped orb. So I'm gonna treat you as a hostile orb and ask you, are there ET agencies or ET groups that are associated with these UAPs, and what percentage of them are ET related?
He actually doesn't know the answer to that. That's something that is unknown within this universe, he says. You really need to go outside of this universe to find that answer.
And when he says universe, the universe is really big. Does he mean outside of the solar system, or does he mean go to a different planetary system?
No, outside of this entire grid system universe, you would have to go off grid.
You see, I don't think he knows how big the universe is. The universe is very big. I've explored the universe myself with much of my remote viewing. What type of propulsion or energy capability do we have that exists right now? It the public believes might be fiction. So describe that to us so that we can understand it.
Well, there are things that we have created that do not need any sort of energy to run other than wind or solar. What? But they can only go so far. They're not strong enough to report back. Because in order for things to go explore way, way off in the distance, you have to eliminate the need for energy to run them. And that's the biggest challenge. And how are you going to report back? They haven't figured that out all the way 100%. It can only go so far.
So when you were at Skyfall in this picture here, 48 hours before you died, you said their technology was more advanced than anyone on the planet. Was that a slip? Was that a lie? Or was that you were just trying to be a politician?
He's always a politician, right?
Not anymore, but
Did you say that for the sake of the media and know that it would get back to Russia? I feel that there was a reason for that. And I feel that the underlying reason was so that it would be reported and Russia would be made aware that they haven't obliterated the Ukraine, that the Ukraine is still standing strong and pushing forward with the US government backing them. See, that brings about a whole nother line of questioning, which is how long are we going to continue to back the Ukraine and on the US side of things, how long and he says until the war is over. Well, when will the war be over? And it's not going to be over for a long time yet. But when the Ukraine is officially, it will be annexed over to Russia. That's when the US can focus on the rebuilding. Are we going to help? Yeah, we are. We're going to help give money to the rebuilding of what's left of the Ukraine. And are they going to have elections with Zelensky, well, no, they will not have elections while this war is going on. Zelensky, well, he will remain in power.
Is Lindsey Graham aware of any corruption that the Zelensky family is engaged in or not?
Yes, we all know they're corrupt and they've been
And so
swindling money.
why do we continue to support that? And why do we continue to funnel money into that agency or government that is corrupt?
Why do we continue to fund that? Why? Because they're fighting the war for us. Why do we need to go to war with Russia? Well, what I am getting is that it's to do away with a lot of their weaponry. They're having to waste a lot of their weaponry in fighting this war. So the US sees it as a strategic move to wipe them out financially and to wipe them out. Now, this is their personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. This is not mine and not Miss Reality. I'm only giving you what I get. If you don't like it, I'm sorry about that. But I'm just telling you what I get. What I am getting is that they, in their minds, they think that they're going to wipe out, deplete Russia of resources, money. It will weaken them in some way. Okay. That is their reasoning. Now, the question behind that would be, is that true? Will it weaken Russia with this line of thinking? And I'm getting a no from Lindsey Graham. Okay. So that line of thinking of funding the Ukraine is not going to be what they think it is. It's not going to wipe Russia out of resources and money and weaponry.
But to what end? Like, what's the end goal then? Just to still fight the Cold War from the 80s and make Russia capitalism's owned vassal state?
Yes, it. So, I mean, what is the end game? I mean, the end game in their minds is that they really, he's like, yes, Liz, really. He believes that, so in their mind, the end game is that they'll seriously injure Russia economically, financially, take them down from being a potential superpower, and that the Ukraine could possibly win the war. If he says they believe that if the US entered the war with Ukraine and just decided to get it all over with, that the US would win the war against Russia. That is what they think. Okay. So let's ask if that was the scenario that played out, the US, which we're fighting Iran at the moment. I'm sure we have questions about that. But we play out and we join forces with the Ukraine, NATO, whoever, and everybody goes and attacks Russia. Would Russia lose? Oh, he said yes. If everybody got together and attacked Russia, Russia would lose. Would they use a nuclear weapon? Yes, they would. So then who loses in the end, right? If that scenario was to play out, it's not going to play out, but hypothetically, then who wins and who loses if a nuclear weapon is used?
We all
Uh,
lose in that situation, I'd say,
yeah, of
except
course.
Lindsey Graham because he's dead on the other side because they
Right.
don't get any fallout from that. Let's ask him a different question about what other foreign nations had a file on you? How many other, you said
Mm.
Russia had files on you, all the lobbyist groups, any other countries who use that to coerce you into certain things?
China. China had a lot of files on him. Did Israel? No, Israel did not. What about other? No, the one that he knows about the most is China. But
Who
they
does he?
follow all of our politicians here.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll get to that one next. Who, in your opinion, is the most dangerous senator and why?
Who, in your opinion, is the most dangerous senator and why? Are they Democrat? And so he's showing me a picture. Who? Elizabeth.
Pocahontas?
Elizabeth. Elizabeth. Oh,
Pocahontas?
what's her name? No, no, Elizabeth. He said she changes, she flip-flops too much, and she's just out to get everybody. Elizabeth W. Elizabeth W.
Warren. Pocahontas. That's what I
Oh,
said.
Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, Elizabeth Warren.
Her
Yes,
name
he
is
thinks.
Pocahontas, but yes.
Oh, okay. He thinks that she is so dangerous for anybody she is vicious. She will betray you. You cannot trust her. She will stab you in the back. You don't tell her anything at all. You don't have any interactions with her at all.
And I guess that does she have, maybe they have files on her? He probably doesn't know. But who
Yeah, they
else
have
in your orbital right now would you say is relieved at your sudden passing?
the Democratic Party. Do you think yeah, because they think that they're going to fill the seat potentially with a Democrat, and it will be filled at some point. The Democrats will have the majority. Will they have the majority? Yeah, see, look, this is again another confirmation where we're headed for the midterms, right? He says Trump has lost the midterms for sure. Yes, for sure.
Well, your death didn't help.
No, and of course there was this speculation, did Iran kill Lindsey Graham in order to get to Trump? Because they've issued death warrants for Trump and lots of world leaders and political leaders, but he's saying no, Iran did not have anything to do with this.
Just,
Will Iran kill Trump? No. Will they make an attempt on his life? Oh, absolutely they will.
and how does he see the resolution of the Iranian war?
How do you see their resolution? So America is paving the way for what? For Israel to go in and to do secret missions, taking out all of the top politicians. They will have to have regime change. And can I just call a couple of hits? I said this was not going to be over, right? The peace deal, blah, blah. We said in probes, many probes, that wasn't going to be over. And then last week, there was talk of a nuclear facility got hit. Well, we got that in one of our probes as well. And it would be hit. They're going to try and hush it as much as possible, but it will have a lasting long-term effect on, there will be leaks from that facility that will be harmful to health.
Does he see Trump initiating any other foreign wars during his remaining tenure?
Do you see Trump issuing any other form? No.
Anything else Lindsey Graham would like to say to the people out there listening?
Is there anything else you'd like to say? No, he's just thank you. Thank you to all of his supporters or people that listen to him. You're going to have to stay strong. He says, why do you say we're going to have to say? Because this is the big unraveling. This is unraveling. And it's hard to sit through and it's hard to watch. And every day or every week or every month is a new corruption exposed. Everything is just going to keep being unraveled. And
What
we have
per
social media to do that.
what percentage of Congress, and that includes the senators and the House of Representatives, does he think truly represent their constituents versus the interest of lobbyists?
So on it's all about the lobbyists. He just chimed in. I was going to ask him for percentages, but he's like, it's all about the lobbyists. Everything we do is about promoting profit for themselves. So, yeah, self profit and lobbyists. It's rarely about the constituents. What
Another,
percentage? Maybe
I guess,
2%.
final thought that I had is who comes in and clears out his residence at his passing? Is that a government agency? And what government agency? Is that his staff, his family?
Who clears out your residence? Is it? No, it's the family. But will the government go in and that those files have already been that's gone. Files are already gone. They've already done all that. They've already confiscated that. So what is left now is the family divvying up the property, selling whatever. And he's saying he has quite a large extended family.
All right, Liz Cross, thank you very much. Each one of you out there, thanks for liking, hyping, sharing, and subscribing. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Mr. Reality, for putting this together. Please don't forget, Mr. Reality does have a tip jar listed down below.